Hello, Sagittarius. How are you doing? Happy birthday to you, first of all, belatedly for most of you. Um, which is, I'm very happy for you. A very positive thing to celebrate one's birthday, but I can't shake off this feeling of being troubled. Like I've been sitting here for a couple of minutes and it doesn't feel like Sagittarius energy. I mean, I just did the Scorpio reading just like half an hour ago, so. And it wasn't an easy Scorpio reading. I mean, is there an easy Scorpio reading? Um. And it's not like I expected something more upbeat, but this is weird. I feel weird. I feel very unsagittarian. I feel I just can't shake it off. And I guess because the sun is still in Sagittarius, although this reading is, well, for Capricorn season mostly, but not entirely, because I read from new moon to new moon, and we are in the new moon right now, like in the actual aspect, not just the phase. It's going to be exact in a couple of hours. And it's happening in Sagittarius 29, so the second to last degree. So almost the anoretic degree, almost. But plays quite significantly at the end of Sagittarius and highlighting the last decan there, which is associated with the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands, as well, if you know anything about tarot, you know that it's not the easiest card. Often, let me show you if you don't know what the card looks like. Often associated with burdens because it depicts a person, a man who's carrying a burden, like 10 staffs, really, 10 wands, in a quite peculiar way that makes you just feel like, oh my god, he's just schlepping like these staffs somewhere, and why is his center of gravity is completely off, it's outside of his body. That's always super uncomfortable. He's leaning forward to carry them. I'm not even sure if it's physically possible to carry it in the way it is actually drawn, but this is the third decan of Sagittarius, the card that is associated with it, and the influence of this new moon. And I guess what I can't shake off is for you is the current situation in the world. So it is your season, but the sun is also still in your sign right now, impressing us all. And with this new moon, although we are entering Capricorn season in like 2 days or something, 3 days, because the new moon is still under the influence of Sagittarius, it'll follow us for a month, 28 days to be exact. So that's what I want to say to start off this reading, and I really wish it was on a happier note, which would be more appropriate for you Sagittarius, what you resemble, what you are at your core. So perhaps it is also a reminder that you, as kind of like the happy-go-lucky of the whole zodiac, maybe can also help others with uplifting of this energy, or shaking it off, or putting it into perspective, or just making them forget. Sometimes it's just that simple. How awful the world is right now. I mean, I just had today the last day of uni for the year. Not that I really care about the calendar year. For me, the real year starts with Libra season, so it's we're finishing off the third month in my book. But we had still in the world out there, the year is gonna end soon, and that's supposed to mean something. And we had the last day at uni today, at university, and the professor, she greeted us, she wished us a happy Christmas and a happy New Year, and then she added that she wishes that the next year is going to be better or more positive, less bad. How did she phrase it? Like, it sounded quite grave. Like, I was thinking of wars and stuff. Like, less, maybe she said less violent. Hopefully the next year is going to be less violent. Maybe she said that. That's what I want to say right now, at least. So, yeah, that was not very Christmassy like. But Christmas is all about hope. But then again, I don't celebrate Christmas. I've been growing up generally in the Christian tradition, as most Germans have or do. But I don't really see the point. Right now, at least not. That might change, or it might not. Okay, let's look at you. I'm wondering if I have the wrong deck here because the card is not coming out. But I've been quiet. Try to be quite mindful about which ones to choose. It just takes a while. Maybe that's a message also. I don't know. That's weird. No, we're not going to take that one. Okay. I'm going to split the deck then. Make that kind of shuffle. I don't know what these different shuffles are called. And we're going to do 1 and 2 and 3. Still nothing popping out. It's crazy. Never happens. Oh, never happens and it pops out. Yeah, okay. Cool. We have strength. We have strength. Strength in the past. No, that's not good enough. We take flyouts. No, turnarounds. Thank you. 3 of Pentacles. Plans in the now and the future. The Princess of Pentacles. Innocence. Some form of innocence. And we have Science. 6 of Swords at the bottom. Not an easy energy. An energy of transaction. You would not really think of transaction when you think of science, but it is. Crowley describes it, if I recall correctly, as science being the consequence or the result of 2 things interacting. So transaction means, in this context, that you have 2 parties, let's say, or 2 adjacent fields, like meadows, could be anything, or people, whatever, areas. They are adjacent, and they or let's say they are adjacent, and there's a flux. There's some interaction between the 2, and science is the result of this interaction. It is like the ferryman who does not live really in this world, so there's not really a space in between these 2 meadows or in between these people, but then again there is a space, but somewhere else in another dimension or whatever, where this ferryman in this weird transactionary realm exists, and from that realm comes science. Quite a story, quite an abstract concept to think about signs. Now, the Six of Swords in itself is a card of the Sun and of Mercury. It's Mercury in Aquarius. And all 6 cards are Sun cards because the number 6 is in the Kabbalistic system associated with the Sun. And in that way, it is structuring. It is giving consciousness, conscious awareness, more consciousness into something. So it is a life force, because consciousness is life force. But we cannot really receive this energy directly. The sun's just too powerful, and that's why we have the moon in between the sun and the earth. And Mercury and Venus are kind of like path to the side. So we have the sun, the moon, and the earth in a straight line. And then Mercury and Venus are our realm of thought, Mercury, and our realm of emotions, so Venus. We have them branch off to the side. So it's Mercury is the realm of the masculine energy, and Venus is the realm of the feminine energy. And this is definitely the masculine energy that is coming through with Mercury here. Sun is more neutral, neither masculine nor feminine. Which explains why, I mean, science is very analytical, why this word is associated with it. And this transaction that I'm talking about is also very logically founded, based, I want to say. Yeah. It's also, yeah, what did I feel? I feel like when I talked about these 2 fields, which are transacting in general, it feels like it's not just 2, it's many fields in parallel. It's it's lines. That's what I saw, lines running in parallel. I don't know if that means different lines of thought. What is the actual phrase here that my brain is associating with? Train of thoughts? Schools of thoughts. The lines are schools of thoughts, different sciences, so to speak, or different schools of sciences, so to speak. School of thoughts, yeah, something like that. Huh, that's it's a very funny energy, Sagittarius. And I chose this deck here. It's actually inspired, no, it's not just inspired by AI, artificial intelligence. It is actually drawn by AI. And for some reason, probably because it has, like your reading is somehow connected to the world stage, to us all, basically, to the world in general. And AI is a dominating energy right now, and it's just going to increase, I'm afraid. Fortunately, unfortunately. In the future. And I say fortunately, unfortunately, because it sounds silly, but I think every curse is a blessing in disguise, which sounds like, yeah, you just, how do you say that, like negatively positive, like fanatically positive, like positive to a degree that is hurting you. Which I can't really say no to, it's possible, but it helps me. Maybe it helps you too. Okay. Clarifying the Strength card, we have, which way? 3 of Pentacles again, pointing towards the now. Okay, what else can we see about this Strength card? Thank you. 6 of Pentacles. Double gemination of some sort. And two more. Two of Wands, Strength. So I call this card Strength as well. Kind of like the Major Arcana up here. And then the Six of Cups. Yep, this is some strange Knight of Wands at the bottom. Very colorful. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Interesting. This is a very peculiar way to show, like, how I think copies are made on a higher in the higher realm, because I really need to have like a drawing at hand so I can show you the tree of life in the Kabbalah tradition. But there is a hexagon basically. We have Kether here, the crown. Then here, Chokmah, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and the Sun. And it's also indicated here, there's a line in between the upper three and the lower three, which is called, in the Golden Dawn tradition, the abyss, with Da'at, like you could say the source of all evil in the middle. It's not, like, these are called Sephiroth in the Tree of Life, in the Kabbalic tradition. But the one in the middle, the Da'at, which means knowledge, is not a true Sephiroth. It just pretends to be one, basically. It's the knowledge that is misleading us. And crossing the abyss is not easy. Like, reaching the upper three Sephiroth is quite a challenge. So reaching Saturn, reaching Uranus, and Saturn is also the great gatekeeper, astrologically or mythologically as well. Rings of Saturn, I think, are associated with gatekeeping. But yeah, in total it's 6 Sephiroth in the upper tree. It's like the crown of the tree, basically, and then you have the trunk and some branches, and then Malkut, the earth at the bottom, as the root, so the densest part of the tree. And it's kind of like the whole tree for me is a story of, like, original, which is the original 3, it's up here. And then we have a copy of those 3, the lower 3. Then we have another copy, like 1, 2, 3 down here, kind of mimicking the copy here, like a copy of a copy. And then we have one shoot down. This is not about the 6 of Cups here, towards the earth. So that is not resembling the 3. It's just one. It also gets, like, it kind of feels like the copy gets cruder because it's a copy of a copy. And you know how copies can degrade quite quickly when you make a copy of a copy of a copy and stuff like that. So it also means to me, means for me that, or explains to me that why we have this feeling of fakishness and simulation stuff going on, because it's a dream within a dream within a dream, a copy of a copy of a copy, or a simulation within a simulation of a simulation. That's different words, putting different words describe, you know what I mean, describing with different words the same thing. And here we have the 6 here as well, with the 6 of Cups. We have a 2 here and a 3 there, so 2 times 3 is 6, basically. Very crude, very basic mathematics, if you want to even call that, or just calculations. So that's what I see here. We have Strength here, which is the Leo card, and Leo is the sun. It is a card that resembling an archetype that likes to be very visible, an archetype that likes to show itself. I mean, actors and any kind of creative work, artwork is associated with Leo, so it always likes to show something. And it is right in that. It's not wrong. It's not like I want to say they're full of themselves. They're full of themselves for a reason. Because Leo is associated with the sun. And the sun is just so much energy. It's also not easy for Leos to be so present, to hold that much energy, and to almost endure the attention they get. I mean, they crave it, but then again, they also despise it at the same time because it's so challenging. Because they're under this impression of so many people, like, because we can feel other people's perspective on ourselves, I think. At least when we're more on the open side of living, like when we're perceptive to what is going around us. And I think if you're here listening to this reading, participating in it, you are definitely on that path of being more perceptive and open to things. So perhaps you have been in the past more visible than you would have liked to. Well, but then again, Sagittarius is not completely opposed to being visible. I mean, you are liked. You're in that way seen because you just get along with people quite well. So I don't really see something negative here. Just more of a matter of fact. I'm just trying to... I don't think this makes sense yet in itself. I think we need to put it into context with the situation right now. I think there's some information that I can't connect the dots yet quite. So let me clarify the Three of Pentacles then. Thank you. The Five of Swords. It's Aquarius energy. Oops. On the floor. Ten of Wands. Okay. That seems to be enough. And we have the Devil at the bottom. Oof. Okay. Interesting. We have more interesting numbers here. So 2 times 5 is 10. We have 2 cards here. And then 5 plus 10 is 15, which is the ordinal number on this Major Arcana card, the Devil. So, what the F? What's going on here? I said that the present situation, that the past situation would make more sense if I look at the present situation. And the present situation is kind of like the same spiel, just a different color, like the past. It's just like I'm just triggered in my numerology, and I was wondering if I should read these cards in a normal, let's say, tarot read. Not that this is not a normal tarot reading, but in the usual way that I read the cards, which is like 2 of Wands is like strength, that you want something, that you're reaching out, that you're putting energy in it, but that you also see the limitations of it, and that things can be happen pretty quickly because it's a 2 cards are associated with Uranus. But it seems not. This is a different reading. This is something else. And I'm being reminded that I said in the beginning that I think this reading is not so much about you as like just you, yourself, your personal life, but it's more about you in light of what's going on in the world. And it's something quite significant going on in the world. I already touched upon AI, its implications. Well, do we really need to talk about that? I mean, it's quite everywhere. People are quite aware of it. It's kind of like a slow motion car crash. Well, that's the fear, at least. I mean, it doesn't need to happen. But then again, would it be the worst thing? And that's quite something to say, obviously, because who wants to be in a car crash of epic scale, involving all of humanity? But then again, perhaps the higher truth is here that we've been in a slow motion car crash for a very long time already. And this is just the final phase of, oh, snap. We're like, okay, we're like centimeters away from the wall or something. It's like, yeah, not looking good. That kind of phase. Okay, I'm just gonna see what the future then holds. I don't know what else to do here right now. So let's just, oops, okay, clusterfuck of cards, no, sorry. We had one card popping out and then because of my clumsiness, a whole 10 cards or something fell out as well. But this card, the 10 of what? The 10 of the major arcana. The Wheel of Fortune wanted to come out. And the Lovers. Okay. And one more card. Thank you. The Eight of Wands. Sorry for the glare. I have a lot of light here because that's good for making videos, obviously, but the glare is a bit too much. Five of Pentacles at the bottom. Five of Pentacles is about limitations in the physical. Like it can mean scarcity in our resources, our money, our time, our attention. Yeah. Well, it comes with it. If you have little money, little time, it draws in your attention, but that's just secondary. It's more about being limited in your actions because of something physical. Something that affects the physical very much, I want to say. And the Eight of Wands is like the speed card. That's what I call it. And it's double Mercury. I mean, Mercury is one of the fastest planet and only is only topped by the moon, obviously. It's a very masculine card, very masculine energy, because Mercury is very masculine, and it can be about communication, about messages coming in, but it can also be fleeting, no, what's the word, like a focus that is fleetingly changing, like changing quite fast, like, which means that you actually can't focus. It's like ADHD. That's the negative side of the Eight of Wands, one of the negative sides of the Eight of Wands. And it is accompanied by the Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers. Wheel of Fortune is one of your cards, actually. It's the Jupiter card. And it's, for me, no, it doesn't have that meaning here. So I'm just gonna drop it and not say it because it doesn't apply. I'm reminded of that Jupiter with its association with Chesed, the Sephiroth Chesed, as it is called in Hebrew, with the origin of time and space, which kind of is related to AI, because there's, well, and humanity's development and awakening, perhaps, in general, because there is something funny about time. Many people say that, many people perceive it, feel it, having thoughts about it, whatnot. And for me, it is also this, there's definitely a world or several worlds or whatever outside of time. And this is also what the Kabbalah tree of life talks about, because everything above Jupiter is then outside, is existing outside of time, which is Saturn, Uranus, and then whatever Cather, the highest Sephiroth, is probably associated with a trifecta of planets. I would say Neptune, Pluto, and then the stars in general. Neptune and Pluto probably more like stepping stones, and the highest are the stars then, obviously. But we don't have the star card here, which is, I mean, traditionally also associated with Aquarius, not necessarily with Cather. That would be more like the Hanged Man, the Death card, I guess. Well, that's yeah. And then I was given the information, I still have not figured this out at all, and I don't know if it's true at all, that electricity has something to do with choices and with time. So these three things, and identity. So these four things: identity, electricity, time. What did I say? Decisions. Are four symptoms, so to speak, four ways, the same, or four phenomena, the same principle. I think that puts it quite accurately, but I don't really understand it at all. I mean, on an abstract, kind of spiritual, esoteric kind of way, I'm like, I can accept this. I can roll with this, but I wouldn't say that I really understand it. I wouldn't say that I completely back it. Yeah, I'm an understanding kind of person. If I don't really understand it, or kind of understanding is so mind-based, but that's not really the kind of understanding that I mean. Let's not go there. But anyway, you have this piece of information now that I'm being that I have been given, and that I'm being reminded of right now, which you could say is the incoming information. I mean, but then again, we are in the here right now, and this is the future. Yeah, we have the Princess of Pentacles, which I didn't talk about yet. I just noticed. I just completely overlooked her, completely ignored her, because I was also so in this, what's going on here? This is an unusual tarot reading with all the numerology. It's like, and with the word stage vibe and whatnot. I still have not figured out what science has to do with it. Well, though science is obviously connected to AI, because it's kind of like the origin, science as the origin of AI, like the mother, abstract mother or father. I guess, yeah, Six of Swords, it's more a father than a mother. But that's also one of the things I was thinking about with AI, that it's like it feels like a motherless child almost, because it comes from this computer realm, which is like just zeros and ones. It's just so analytical and cold, and that would be like could be the negative expression of a child growing up without a mother figure, with a father who's not very feminine, or cannot give the child the necessary mother energy, which is a hard thing to do anyway, like being a single parent in whatever configuration, like men or women. Yeah. Princess, so Page of Pentacles, Princess of Discs, it's called in the Thoth or Crowley deck, is a card for me. Like all the pages, all the princesses are about innocence, and it's the most tangible page card because it's pentacles. But it's still invisible. Like all the princess, all the page cards are very high vibing for me, to a degree that they're invisible. But the Page of Pentacles is the most visible of these invisible cards, if that makes any sense. But I still see it as invisible. So the court cards, so all the people cards, so to speak, are associated with a sign, but not the pages, because we have 4 people cards, court cards in the 4 elements, which makes 16 cards, but we only have 12 zodiac signs, obviously. So the pages kind of fall out, so to speak, or pushed off the table in this sorting association thing, which like in the beginning I was kind of sad about it. I was like opposing it because it felt incomplete and not right. But then I realized the nature of the pages, which is, well, it's a story about also masculinity and femininity. Like masculine energy is much more visible, much more obvious, much more tangible also. And feminine energy is much more obscure, darker, less easy to see, basically. It's more a realm of the unknown, unseeable, kind of out there, hard to grasp. And the more mature the energy of masculinity and femininity becomes, the more tangible it also becomes, which means then that the princess and the prince, another word for knight, that I used, are the higher vibing expressions of their mature counterparts, the queen, or the king and the queen, or which way? Queen and king, I said it this way around. Which reminds me a bit what I said about that child, that motherless child. But with AI, I would more expect a page of swords than a page of pentacles. But then again, the pages are very invisible. And perhaps the page of swords would be too invisible here. So it is something that we can see soon. Something that we can see soon. The first effect onto our physical reality that has like higher forces at play, because major arcana are basically outside forces impressing onto our lives. Coming in fast, though. Like a tiny little... Where we had inklings before, we will soon see the first signs of physical evidence. I'm not gonna lie, this sounds horrible. I'm sorry. With the 5 of Pentacles at the bottom, but I know it's not. Like, but that's also me. I'm Hope impersonated, so to speak. I don't know if you can say that in English, but I'm like... hope dies last. It's really, for me, the very last thing that dies. So I'm not really worried, but I'm trying to figure out where this reading, like what is the message here? What am I supposed to say? How can I keep up my coherent, like the coherency of my own perspective? Or perhaps I don't. Maybe I'm supposed not to. Like, oppose it. The science aspect. The transaction. This is my perspective, and this is what I'm supposed to say. Supposed. Because I'm also just a messenger. So the message is dire. Okay. I don't know what to do with that. I'm confused. I'm a bit confused. Because usually I'm not a person who just delivers messages in a way without putting them into my own perspective. Maybe that's very selfish of me. Maybe that's also a lesson for me. Maybe not. Okay, let's draw one more card here for the future. I wanna see if I got it right, and I should just end it on, for me, like a very unsatisfying and screechy kind of note. To use a somewhat musical phrase here, or analogy really. Let's see. We have the Nine of Swords. That's definitely a screechy note to end on. Yeah, polarities. It's the card that I call polarities. I mean, that's total confirmation here. With the Three of Swords at the bottom, I mean, can it get any screechier? Okay. My hands are bound. I abide. I abide. I'm obedient to the energy. I am a tool of the higher realms, and sometimes there is nothing I can do here. Sorry for the personal notes, in my opinion, unnecessarily at the end. But thank you for listening to me. I hope you get something constructive out of this reading. And happy rest of Sag season, like 1 or 2 days, and happy Capricorn season. We'll see what it brings. Bye.